Hello. I'm in the middle of a couple of weeks holiday from work, and I've spent the time really resting because I was very tired when I came into this break, and I've been doing thinking and praying and some reading. I think I shared once before that when I read books on Christian themes, God sometimes speaks through what I'd call revelation, where it's like scales fall from the eyes and a truth is revealed that I hadn't really noticed before or hadn't really been able to apply in the same way before. Sometimes he also speaks on a deeper, almost emotional level. And he did that, I think, through one of the books I've read very recently. This is a book by a lady called Teresa of Avila, and it's called The Interior Castle, and here it is here. Teresa was writing in the late 1500s, and she was a Carmelite nun, a writer, a poet, a religious reformer. And the book Interior Castle was written primarily for her fellow Carmelite nuns as a guide and instruction on how to progress deeper into intimacy and union with God through prayer. And her works, and this work in particular, are supposedly celebrated as some of the greatest writings on Christian mysticism. While there's some of the theology in there that I wouldn't agree with, nevertheless, I found it a profoundly moving and inspiring book. Not least because Teresa was writing as a woman in a time when the religious authorities were very much male dominated, in fact exclusively male, and she was writing under the watchful, sinister eye of the Spanish Inquisition. So she had to be extremely careful about what she said and didn't say, and she does a masterful job in doing that in this book. And God spoke to me really on a couple of things. Firstly, perspective. She was writing this book for her Carmelite nuns, his fellow Carmelite nuns, and the Carmelite order was a very restricted order in terms of their lifestyle and their daily routines, centered around rhythms of prayer and work, and certainly by our standards today, a very restricted life. And yet, through prayer and intimacy with Jesus, they seem to have a freedom and an adventure that is truly inspiring and evokes a yearning within one to be able to have the same. And there was a bit of a challenge to me and perhaps others in this time of restrictions and COVID and people worrying about how they're going to cope being cooped up in the house all the time. And yet, here is an example of a way of life where your physical constraints are no barrier to your inner life and your intimacy with God. But perhaps the more important level in which God spoke to me was on a deeper emotional level. As I was reading it, I just got a deep sense of yearning and longing for a deeper intimacy with God, and a hunger, a longing to fulfill His purposes in my life, and in that sense, a drawing closer to the heart of God and experiencing more of His love. I'd encourage you when you read to pray that the Spirit would open your heart, open your mind, and look out for the ways He speaks, not just to our on a cerebral, mental level, but also deep inside on a soul and emotional level. God bless.